Let's finish with some fun discussion about the unwritten rules of baseball. I just can't get enough of this Tony La Russa, White Sox, Twins situation where Tony's talking, all of his players are talking. It seems like all of his players disagree with him. It seems like most new school baseball folks, and even a lot of old school baseball folks, disagree with him, where a couple of nights ago, you had Yermin Mercedes, who's having a really good season. And it's 15-4 in the ninth inning. White Sox are up. You got the position player, the infielder, Williams Astudillo, pitching. And I was watching the whole at bat. He's just basically playing catch. He's throwing 45 and 46 and 47 mile per hour bloopers. And he's kind of just like getting the ball and just throwing it. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3. And then on the 3-0 count, 15-4 ball game, he throws a 47 mile an hour eephus. And Yermin Mercedes hits it 429 feet to center, 109 miles per hour off the bat, which is pretty dang impressive knowing the ball's coming in at 47. It was a 15-4 baseball game, and so some of the keepers of the game, including Tony La Russa, says you shouldn't do that because it's a 3-0 count. I would understand that if it was a normal ninth inning. If it's an 8-1 game, okay, and that's also, to me, that's a gray area. But all rules should be off the table when a position player is pitching. At that point, it doesn't even matter. You've basically forfeited the game. Look at over the weekend. Matt Carpenter was pitching. It was funny. Everybody was laughing, right? The Cardinals got blown out, and it's a way you can kind of laugh a little bit at the end of a bad game.
Take off the sting.
Is that good for the sport, though?
Well, you're saving your bullpen. I actually do think it's good for the sport because otherwise nobody would watch that game. That was the most interesting thing about that Cardinals game.
Yeah, but it's goofy. You're watching it because it's goofy.
Correct.
You're not watching it because, wow, this is like a joke.
Well, let me throw this at you then. At that point, because when you bring a position player into pitch, you are basically forfeiting the game. At that point, you're saying, I no longer care about winning this baseball game. Unless you have some crazy amount of injuries in the bullpen, right? Unless COVID runs through your bullpen. But in a situation that you're down 15-4, if you bring in a position player to pitch, you're basically saying, I'm no longer trying. Why not just end the game right there?
Well, because...
Gambling? Records?
No, yeah. Bonuses, everything. How about your stat line? How about, like, you play for your stats? So if this little dink is going to throw 47 miles an hour down the pipe, I'm smoking this bad boy. I'm smoking it. I might even have a little bat flip, too. Say, you guys suck. Figure it out. Don't mess with me. I'm the big boy. I'm going to hit it out of the park.
Okay, so...
Figure it out.
I was listening to Tony La Russa's whole explanation the first time around. He says, quote, big mistake. La Russa said Tuesday. The fact that he's a rookie and excited helps explain why he just was clueless. But now he's got a clue. I do think it sounds worse in print if you listen to it, but still, that doesn't look very good at all against your player.
Yeah. Look, I don't care that he swung. I really don't. I'm like, good for you. So what? So the game lasted another 5 minutes while he went around the bases. Tony, it's like your grandfather or your great uncle they're set in their ways and they're not changing, right? We all have that couple people in our family go, you really shouldn't look at things like that anymore. Uncle, whoever, they're not going to change. And I kind of think Tony is that way. I mean, he grew up on this game and that's the way he's always played it. And doesn't mean I agree with it and it doesn't mean it's right. But that's just the way he is.
He's Lou.
Yeah.
Lou Lamoriello.
Well, that's fair, too.
There's another name. You can come out and say, Lou, we need to lighten up.
I got to shave every day.
No, you're not. This is the way we do it here.
And they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm about to be 39. Okay. Even if you're, let's say, 57. Okay. Tony's almost 80. Remember that. How old's Tony, right?
Yeah.
What was he, 76, 77, whatever he is? I mean, Tony's close to 80 years old. So if anybody's going to be setting his ways, it's going to be Tony La Russa. But I do think the younger generation, a lot of people disagree. Trevor Bauer says, dear hitters on Twitter, if you hit a 3-0 homer off me, I will not consider it a crime. Dear people who are still mad about a hitter hitting, kindly get out of the game. Can't believe we're still talking about 3-0 swings. If you don't like it, managers or pitchers, just be better. And then I love this. our guy Lance Lynn, who always likes to mix it up, you'd also think that he and Tony probably have a pretty good relationship.
I would think so, yeah.
I think some of these quotes do look worse in print
than what they are.
I want to see how they said it. Were they laughing a little bit? You know Lance Lynn, he's very deadpan.
Yes.
He's very sarcastic.
Yep.
But Lance Lynn says, and of course he pitches for the White Sox now, last night said, quote, "There are no rules when a position player is pitching," adding, quote, "The more I play this game, the more those unwritten rules have gone away." Tony La Russa said of those remarks by Lance Lynn, quote, "Lance has a locker, I have an office. I don't agree." Either way, I love it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
The office,
the baseball is a problem, and it needs to be more exciting. So if they're going to have a position player come in because the team sucks so bad, and they're forfeiting the game, which is on them, which is literally on them, and he comes in, and the fans are still there, and they're like, "No, I want to see you bomb one here." "Oh, you're just going to let it? You're going to take it? Oh, go ahead. 47 miles an hour down the pipe. Oh, sorry, strike. Is that good for baseball? I mean, really? You're just going to forfeit the game, and then one team forfeits, and the other team's like, okay, we'll forfeit too. No more excitement? Come on."
Right, and when I say forfeit, I know they're not really going to forfeit, but it's basically throwing in the towel. It's almost like at the end of the game when the other team with the football takes a knee. The game is not over, but it's over.
It's over. But it's on you that it's over.
Cam, you know this. When you empty the bench in a basketball game, when you're up 27 points in the last 2 minutes, and you start in a college basketball game putting out the dudes that are going to be insurance salesmen, all due respect to insurance salesmen.
Probably making a lot of money.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know the game at that point, they're no longer trying. And then you lose your bet by 1 point and you're very mad.
Can I give the example? A hockey one, like I always do. It's like being up 7-0. And hockey's different because you can go murder a guy. Okay, and in baseball you can throw a pitch and stuff like that. But if you're up by 7 and then Berube puts out the top power play and they go get another one, like that'll be a little bit like, what are you doing? Although you think about it, it's like, well, don't get down by 7, and I need my top power play to get their groove on. And sorry, you suck, but we're trying to find seams here and get our one-timers on. So it's
That's happened both ways. Yeah.
happens both ways.
I
man.
mean, if you have a power play that's 30th in the league, you're going, hey, why don't you guys go get healthy on this group?
Go get your confidence up. Sorry, you suck.
Yeah.
But we're going to build our confidence on your suckiness.
Now, if you had the number one group and you're up 7 and you go, okay,
a lot to it.
3 and 4 lines go.
I'd get out there and stand in front of the net. I'm telling you, that's actually happened. We've been up by a ton in Devils, and they throw me in front of the net, and I did nothing. I think I got scored on, to be honest with you. But they did that.
And after last night's game, where they threw at Yermin Mercedes, they threw behind him,
yeah.
And then Tony said he was okay with the way they handled it. And I actually understand. Again, I understand what he meant because it's the eye for an eye type thing. Like,
that's
if you being their big guy, they're going to respond. But it looks bad after you already called your guy clueless, and it almost seems like you're siding with your opponent more than your own players.
Okay, so when I said I liked it, meaning if Tony was like, well, you know what, fine, you probably shouldn't have done that, but you know what, like, don't be in that position. He wanted to hit it. Like, some of these guys have to hit the ball out. I'm not going to strike out to this guy and have my whole team chirp me because a position player just struck me out. No, I'm dinging one. I'm dinging one off you. I got to get my stats. But you know what? If Tony's just like, yeah, I get that, but, oh, you hit our guy? Okay, now it's even. But he's so one-sided on this way, and then he's like, go hit our guy now. Like, well, where are you? So the guys in the locker room are like, gee, thanks, Tony. I don't give a damn if you're old school or not. You don't have our backs.
100%. Good show, boys.
Yeah, man.